Faced with an abyss, the unyielding spirit and wisdom deeply rooted in Li Qingzhao's character erupted once more. Instead of enduring in silence, she made a decision that was earth-shattering for her time. She sued her husband, Zhang Ruzhou, and demanded a divorce. It must be understood that in the Song dynasty, if a wife accused her husband, even if the accusations were true, she would face a 2-year prison sentence. This was a nearly self-destructive path, yet Li Qingzhao pressed forward without hesitation. She gathered evidence of Zhang Ruzhou's imperial examination fraud, and filed a formal lawsuit. In the end, Zhang Ruzhou was exiled, and the marriage was annulled. As stipulated by law, Li Qingzhao was also taken into custody. Fortunately, thanks to Li Qingzhao's reputation and the efforts of friends in the imperial court, she spent only 9 days in prison. But those 9 days were enough to shock the entire Southern Song society. Here was a woman who, for the sake of dignity and freedom, dared to defy the entire ethical order of her time and risked her own reputation and standing. From then on, the image of a gentle, secluded lady who only wrote graceful poetry was completely shattered. In its place stood a resilient woman who had faced true darkness and had pulled herself out of it with her own hands. In her later years, Li Qingzhao lived in the home of her younger brother Li Heng, her life so impoverished that she had to sell off her remaining paintings and calligraphy to make ends meet. Yet she never gave up on compiling records on bronze and stone inscriptions. In the postscript, she wrote, "Others could not bear such suffering, yet I endured, waiting for death to release me," pouring out the anguish of her southward exile and hinting at her endless longing for her husband. She also authored on Ci poetry, the first specialized literary critique on Ci poetry by a woman in Chinese literary history. In it, she sharply criticized Su Shi for treating Ci like poetry and disrupting its musicality, and Lu Yong for his vulgar and crude language. In a literary world dominated by men, she dared to be a pioneer, boldly voicing her own views. Looking back at Li Qingzhao's life, from the young woman reveling in wine by the creek pavilion, to the solitary and courageous soul carrying relics southward, to the elderly woman who dared to sue an official for divorce, her graceful elegance concealed an inner strength, and her delicate demeanor was infused with unwavering resilience. Those timeless verses passed down through the ages were never mere sentimental outpourings but genuine reflections of her tumultuous life. 1,000 years later, when we revisit, seeking, searching, in vain, desolate, still, we should remember that behind them lies the story of a woman who, amidst the chaos of her era, steadfastly clung to her passions and defended her dignity, a life of remarkable fortitude.